To understand what is happening in Iran as of January 2026, it's a perfect storm brewing where an economy is collapsing, a massive government crackdown, and an aggressive U.S. policy have all collided. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the chaotic and complex situations unfolded in Iran as of January 2026. Think of it like a perfect storm brewing where an economy is collapsing, protests are erupting, and foreign powers are pulling strings. Buckle up because this is going to be a wild ride. Why are people in Iran protesting? The protest didn't start because of a foreign conspiracy. They started protesting because people cannot afford to live. In late 2025, the Iranian currency crashed to a record low of 1.4 million to the dollar. Why are the people in Iran protesting? To explain the Iranian currency, let's look at the exchange rate. We can see that this means the currency had lost most of its value. This dramatic, severe economic hardship is called appreciation, which had resulted in hyperinflation, making basic goods and imported items more expensive than what they are. To explain this chart, the zero line is the Iranian currency as of right now. Notice how the blue line is flat at the bottom. This is what it looks like when the currency officially hit zero. The Iranian currency had lost majority of all of its value against the US dollar. We can see that the Iranian currency had fell by 98.0%. And we can see that the US dollar exploded. This golden line right here highlights the US dollar. The gold line shows the cost of the US dollar in terms of the Iranian currency. As the blue line stayed flat at the bottom, the gold line has spiked by over 2,000%. In late 2025 and early 2026, you need 1.4 million of the Iranian currency just for one US dollar. For the audience, this is important information for you. When a currency collapses like this, it's called hyperinflation. Basic goods like bread and imported items become super expensive and unaffordable. The Iranian people's savings was wiped out. That's why there's blood in the streets. While ordinary people are struggling, major banks in Iran collapsed the economy after losing $5 billion due to mismanagement and self-lending to elites. The Iranian government was building luxury malls while bread prices soared, and that was the breaking point. The spark of the protest, which was led by shopkeepers in the area who simply couldn't afford to stock their shelves anymore. We can see that the Iranian inflation rate year over year is at 48.6%. Look at the blue line. This is the pain meter. When this line goes up, explodes at 48.6%, it means if a bag of rice cost $10 last year, it's nearly $15 today. This rapid rise is what dividing the people in the streets because they simply can't afford to eat. This is the Iranian unemployment rate, 7.2%. What it shows is this is a map of the Iran unemployment rate, which is sitting at 7.2%. And a pop-up right here shows that the rate has actually been falling over the last 10 years. You might see 7.2% unemployment rate and think that's good, but here's the trap. Even if people have jobs, their wages can't keep up with that 48% inflation we just saw. People are working, but they are still becoming poor because their paychecks are losing value faster than what they can earn. What this shows is that the exchange rate between the Iranian currency and the US dollar. We've seen this earlier. This is where their money went to zero The blue line represents the Iranian currency, and notice how flat it is at the very bottom. And that gold line is the US dollar. Prices are up nearly 50% on the inflation chart. Savings are going bye-bye because the currency is worth 1.4 billion to 1 USD dollar. The result is that this is why the economy has collapsed. It's not just one problem. The result is that the money is worthless and the banking system cannot support the people. Who's getting the blame for all of this? Why is Donald Trump getting the blame? Well, President Trump has become a polarizing figure. Some see him as a hero, others see him as a villain. His maximum pressure policy has hit the Iranian economy hard. The U.S. has placed intense sanctions on Iran and recently threatened a 25% on any country that does business with them. Critics are saying this is an economic war, and this is what truly broke the Iranian economy, hurting regular families more than the leaders. Trump has posted on social media saying that help is on the way, and the U.S. is locked and loaded. So this encouraged many of the Iranian people to take the risk of protesting, believing that the U.S. military will back them up. In June 2025, Trump ordered the bombing of 3 Iranian nuclear sites. This increased the war fever in the region and gave the Iranian government an excuse to label all protesters a foreign spy. How bad is the crackdown? The death toll, while the numbers are hard to verify due to an internet blackout, human rights groups estimated that it can be between 2,000 and 3,000 people who have been killed since late December. Some reports suggest that the number could be even higher. There has been over 19,000 Iranian people who has been arrested. Trump warned that if Iran execute protesters, he would start shooting. On January 16, 2026, he thanked Iranian leaders for not carrying out mass execution, though many analysts see this as a deadly limbo. The killing continues in the streets, even if formal executions are paused. How does other countries benefit? While the situation is tragic for the Iranian people, it creates a win-win situation for the global powers. The United States loves a weak Iran because it's easier to handle and control. The unrest forces the regime to spend its money at home instead of regional wars or nuclear weapons. China benefits because Iran is sanctioned by the West and it has to sell its oil to China at a massive discount. China currently buys about 80% of Iran's oil for cheap. And then we have the Russians. The more the United States focuses on Iran, the less intention and money it has for the war in Ukraine. Russia also sells Iran the armored vehicles and the tech used to control the protesters. While all this is happening, the global power elites are taking notes. The United States is benefiting from Iran, China is benefiting from Iran, and Russia is benefiting from Iran. It's a twisted game where the ordinary Iranian citizens is caught in the crossfire. So what's the bottom line? Regular Iranians are suffering under a regime that uses violence to stay in power. While the United States policies are tightening, the truth is that both local corruption and foreign sanctions have created this storm, and the people are paying the price. And guess who's in control of all of it? The big 3. We're not talking about LeBron. We're not talking about Chris Bosh. We're not talking about Dwayne Wade. We're talking about BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, they own the war machine. They own defense stocks. As of January 2026, defense stocks, the companies that make missiles, drones, and jets, are having a breakout year. The benefit is that these 3 firms are the top shareholders in these defense companies. When Trump mentions being locked and loaded or order strikes on nuclear sites, the government often orders more equipment because BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street own massive chunks of these defense companies, and the values of those investments goes up. BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Streets are the largest shareholders in ExxonMobil and Chevron. When you pay more at the pump because of the global instability, the profits of big oil companies tend to rise. And this is the double-edged sword for the American people. This is the conflict. These firms manage huge index funds like the ones at your work. Some of these funds include Chinese companies that actually do business with Iran and provides them with surveillance technology. While the US government is pressuring Iran, your retirement plan managed by BlackRock and Vanguard might accidentally be investing in Chinese company stocks that is helping the Iranian government track the protesters. This has led to congressional scrutiny in early 2026. While these three huge firms benefit from defense and oil stocks, they also own almost every other companies like Apple, Amazon, Walmart, Nvidia, the Magnificent Seven. The risk is that if a full blown war breaks out, that would hurt 90% of their other investments. The reality is for these firms, stability is usually better for business than chaos. However, the maximum diversification strategy means they are positioned to make money from the business of conflict, even if the rest of the world is suffering. The good news is if you have a 401k or a 403b, a retirement account, you're likely owning tiny piece of the same companies of the defense and oil stocks. When they go up, your retirement funds might grow. Bad news is you are also paying the hidden tax of the crisis through higher gas prices and general economic uncertainty. And then the moral dilemma is your money might be working both sides, investing in US companies preparing for war and indirectly in Chinese companies who's helping the Iranian regime stay in power. This is a unique fact about the Iranian governments and its leaders. All you just have to do is follow the money. The current fear is that there have been unconfirmed reports in January 2026 that regime elites have been trying to move portable assets out of the country, leading to increased public anxiety about the safety of these national treasures. While the central bank of Iran is currently like a firefighter trying to put out a forest fire with a garden hose, they are printing money to save failing banks. The printing of money makes inflation worse. High inflation makes the people angry, and then the angry people protest, which makes the economy even weaker. This cycle is what you are seeing being played out right in front of our eyes. The banks is technically functioning, but it has lost the trust of the Iranian people. In January 2026, the Iranian story is just one piece of a larger global puzzle. The feeling is that the US people are being distracted while the rules of the game are changing. And it's not a theory. It is a major topic of debate among analysts and observers right now. The real narrative is global unrest, American safety, and the weaponization of distraction. While Iran and Venezuela dominates the headlines because of the US military involvement, several other nations are facing similar explosion of unrest that gets much less airtime. We have Kenya and Nigeria. Young Gen Z protesters are currently clashing with the police over massive tax hikes. The government there have used internet blackouts and live ammunitions to stop the movement. The protesters of Kenya is specifically saying that the Iranian government officials are using the same language of threat to stability, using some anti-terrorism language that we see in the Middle East. This civil unrest is happening in other places. The media is not covering it. Many Africans and South American nations are hitting a economic wall as well in early 2026 because they can't pay their debts to the cycle, the global banks. Their currency are collapsing, leading to the same bread riot we see in Iran. Americans are being distracted. This can be a growing theory. This growing theory in 2026 is called weaponized distraction. The strategy is that analysts argue that foreign powers benefits when Americans are politically unaware but emotionally exhausted. While we watch protest clips and major events happening here at home, the government just passed a bill to silently surveillance us. While the media is focusing on foreign dictators, the US is quietly expanding its own AI driven border surveillance and biometric tracking system. While we talk about Iran nuclear sites, the US is facing the same reality with high interest rates and a $38 trillion debt that is fundamentally changing what we call the middle class. Are Americans safe? This is the truth that's hard to hear. Physical safety and economic safety are two different things. In terms of war, America remains the most protected fortress in history. The Golden Dome that we're about to get will cost us $1 trillion in our defense budget, which will make it physically impossible for invaders to invade the United States. This is where the concern lies. Analysts warns that the real danger is not a bomb, but the erosion of trust. When the people stop believing in the media or the government, the people become less easier to manipulate. People who believe the old institution will save them, that's the old reality. People are moving towards a decentralized system, using Starlink to bypass government blackouts, trading in Bitcoin or gold to bypass central banks, or even getting their news from open source rather than the media. That's the new reality. The real narrative is that the whole world is a tug-of-war between the circle who wants the order and control and the people who wants the affordability and freedom. In Iran, the war is with machine guns. In America, the war is for your attention and your purchasing power. The truth is that we are being distracted by the noise of foreign wars, so you don't notice the quiet ways your own independence is being chipped away through inflation and surveillance. Being awake in 2026 means looking past the headlines to see how the money pipes and information pipes are being redirected. Thank you for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more updates, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you think the situation will unfold? Until next time, stay informed and stay curious, and God bless you.